Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We're going to talk about the banking system. We're going to talk about a story out of the Daily Huddle, and it's entitled, "The U.S. Banking System Will Lose Massive Chunks of Wealth from American Businesses Seeking Yield." Now, this is very important because not only have we seen a flight to safety from individuals taking money out of the bank, the M2 money supply cratering as they pull money out of the bank because they're looking to put money in money market accounts and other accounts that give higher yield, right? We're also seeing this massive transition from regular banking to online banking because these online banks, they don't have employees and they are saving all that money and they're offering higher rates of yield and they are taking tons of market share from these banks, right? We're literally watching the regional bank system in the country collapse, which is horribly sad to see because as many people want to see the banking system crash, you need to understand the Federal Reserve wants the regional banks gone. Why? Because they want the biggest banks, the six largest banks, to rule the country. And that is very scary because then they can push your money in ways that you aren't going to like because there's no competition, right? And that's what's really sad. But now we're talking about businesses. Why businesses are starved for yield. Businesses have to rely on debt to make money because of the way the tax system works. So they use debt to go and make money and they want to write off that interest they pay and all that kind of stuff and keep their margins in a nice range to where they're not paying too much in taxes, right? Their flow through, especially like LLCs, S Corps, things like that. Sorry, I digress. Let's dive into the story and it'll explain better. It says right here, and this is out of the Daily Huddle again, and it's entitled, "U.S. Banking System Will Lose Massive Chunks of Wealth from American Businesses Seeking Yield." It says right here, BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes says the U.S. banks are about to take another hit, this time from businesses looking to outperform low interest rates. Writing in a new essay, Hayes says that the recent exodus out of the banking system will likely get worse. Now, I completely agree with that, and I believe that you're going to see it in mass in September and October. All right. According to the statistics compiled by the Federal Reserve Economic Data System, or FRED, their acronym, depositors yanked $30 billion out of the American bank accounts, $30 billion, out of American bank accounts from May 10th to May 17th. The numbers represent an increase of more than $4 billion over the previous week. The U.S. banking system now has a total of $17.15 trillion in deposits compared to $18.03 trillion 1 year ago. Hayes says the new high rates now available on money market funds that invest in U.S. Treasuries, banks will likely see another wave of withdrawals from investors and businesses looking for better returns. And this is going to get continually worse as the Fed has to raise rates, the money market rates go up, right? The bond rates go up. And so it's this full cycle of it's going to continue this run on the bank. Over $1 trillion has been removed from the U.S. banking system since last year. The big question going forward is, will this exodus continue? Will businesses and individuals continue to move money from 0% yielding bank accounts into money market funds yielding 5% or 6%? Logic tells us the answer is an obvious and resounding absolutely. Why would they not? If at all it takes is a few minutes on their smartphones to 10x their interest income. The U.S. private sector will continue to pull money from the U.S. banking system until the banks offer competitive rates that match at least the Fed funds rate. I couldn't agree more. And that may be a solution, but I just don't know. It's almost like auto dealers not wanting to, just denying that autos are falling in price. They keep their high prices and there's nobody coming in to buy their cars. It's almost like the banks have to go through a crash before they wake up. And it sounds funny, even though we've just seen a banking crash bigger than all of 2008 combined, just a couple months ago. And it's going to get worse. Because the other banks that aren't affected are going, oh, we're fine. And they just don't see it coming. Or they have too many eyeballs going in different directions not to be able to see the big picture, right? The companies, the corporations are too big. So I agree. I think they're going to see a bigger crash. Hayes is also predicting that a bull market is now ahead for Bitcoin and BTC and will not revisit 20,000 ever again. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Just my take on it is I believe that Bitcoin and the entire index of crypto is so tied to the stock market that if the stock market was to start crashing, that's going to crash as well, right? We've seen that throughout history. I have not sold any of my crypto, but I'm also not buying right now. I'm waiting for weakness, for dips. So with that being said, I just want to let you know what my stance is on that. It's not financial advice. I'm just a dude with a bro hawk and a dream, not a financial expert, right? But it says, as more pundits start talking about what is happening to billions of dollars printed by the Fed and US Treasury and handed out as interest, it will become common knowledge once more that the money printer is going burr. And when the money printer goes burr, Bitcoin goes boom. Look, the facts are, yes, during a crisis, Bitcoin can go up. But if you think about it, last year when the stock market fell, what, like 20%, 25%, the S&P was falling and everything was going on when the Fed started raising rates, what happened to crypto? It fell as well, right? We've seen crypto come off way off of its highs of 60,000 down into the 20s. It even went lower than that. And so I don't necessarily subscribe to that mind of thinking, but again, you don't want to FOMO into anything, right? So if any kind of investment I make, I ease myself into it, because how I lost in the past was going big all at once because I believed in something and I was completely wrong. So it'd be better to make wealth in small chunks than in big chunks all at once, because you lose it all at once too. As easy as it comes into your hands, it flows out of, right? As hard as it takes to get into your hands, you hold on to it, right? And you deal with it more like a precious asset. All right. So guys, without any ado, I'll let you guys go. I thank you so much for watching. But the banks are going to go through another crisis. We are just in the eye of the storm, and I believe that next eye of the storm, the ending, starts in about July, and by September and October, we are going to see some fireworks. All right, guys. That being said, the Economic Ninja is out.